Hey everyone, it's Jamie. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 different methods using Deco mesh that you can use when you're making a wreath. These are the 5 methods that I typically use when I make my wreaths. There are plenty of other methods out there that you can use. There's quite a few, but these are the 5 that I do use the most often. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and show you the first method. So for the first method, I'm just going to show you how to do the curl. Now this one is probably the easiest method that you can do. So I like to take my Deco mesh, and this is 10-inch Deco mesh, and I like to cut it to 10 inches long for my curls. So to do your curls, all you're going to do is once you get your Deco mesh cut to the length that you want it, you are just going to unroll it. And where it's curling up on itself, just go ahead and unroll it. And then you're going to want to add something on the bottom or the top of it just to hold it down so that it doesn't curl up on you. But all you're going to do is take the bottom, and this is with the unfinished edge. The edge that you've cut is going to be where you start rolling. The finished edges will be on the outside. So you're just going to start basically rolling it. Now you don't want to roll it too tight, so just roll it. Try to keep it as even as you can on the outside edges. Because as you can see, I didn't keep mine completely rolled straight. But anyway, so you will end up having like a tube. And they call this a curl. So usually whenever I do a wreath, I like to add at least 2 curls, sometimes 3 or 4 in one pipe cleaner at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one and show you guys, and I will be adding 2 curls into one pipe cleaner. So once you have your Deco mesh cut to the length that you want, and like I said, I cut mine to 10 inches, you're just going to unroll it and lay something on the top to hold it down. And the edge where you cut, if you guys can see that, where it's the rough edge, this is the part you're going to be rolling. The finished edge, which is this edge right here, this will be on the outside. So, put that right there, move that curl out of the way. So you're just going to unroll it, and then just loosely roll it up. Try to keep your edges, your finished edges, straight and even with each other, if that makes any sense. So anyway, we're just rolling it loosely. So then you have something that looks kind of like a tube. So now that we have both of our little curls here, you are just going to, I like to crisscross mine. So I will crisscross them and make it like an X out of them. And then in order to put them in my wreath, I'm just going to show you guys here on this. This is just a wreath frame that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. It's a 14-inch wreath frame. And I did go ahead and just wire one section. So with the curls crisscrossed over each other, you're just going to open one of your pipe cleaners, and then you're just going to lay your little crisscross down in the center of the pipe cleaner. And you're just going to give that a couple of twists. And there you have it. So you would do that through each section in each pipe cleaner. So there is the curl method. This next method is called the Ruffle method. So I'm using 10-inch Deco mesh, and I cut my Deco mesh to 19 inches long. So go ahead and cut your mesh to whatever length that you want it, and you're going to see how it rolls in on itself. You're just going to unroll it. And then from here, you're just going to flip it over so that it faces down. You're going to add something heavy to the top just to hold it down. Once you get it all undone here, you're just going to start at the bottom, and you're going to take your two thumbs, put them in the center of the deco mesh. Then you're going to just push up with your thumbs, walking your fingers up through the deco mesh, pulling the deco mesh toward you. So when you're done, it will look like a bow tie. So now to add it to your wreath, I will demonstrate on this Dollar Tree wreath ring. And I like to put my ruffles in going vertically, going up and down, instead of horizontally. So you are going to want to add your mesh in with the finished edges. The top one will go to the center of the wreath, and then the bottom finished edge will go to the outside of the wreath. So you're just going to take your deco mesh, your little bow tie here, place it in the center of your pipe cleaner, going up and down. And then you're just going to twist the pipe cleaner 2 or 3 times. And then once you get your mesh in, you can kind of fluff it out a little bit so that it's fuller. So there is how that should look. So you would do that through all the pipe cleaners in your wreath. So that is called the Ruffle method. This next method is called the Cruffle method. All it is a combination of the curl method and the Ruffle method combined. So to do this, I am using a 10-inch piece of deco mesh, and I have cut it to 25 inches long. So it's very long, and there's a reason for that, because you're going to be adding 2 different methods to one piece of deco mesh. So you're going to want a longer piece. So I did cut mine to 25 inches long, and how it curls up on itself, you're just going to uncurl it, and you're going to flip it over to where it wants to curl up in the middle on itself. So you're going to uncurl it, and then you're just going to add something heavy to the top here just to hold that down. Also for this method, you're going to need a clothespin, a chip clip, anything that you can use to just clip your deco mesh to hold it in place while you work on the other end. So I'm just going to be using a clothespin. So after you get it unrolled, you're going to go from the bottom, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the curl, and you're just going to start curling it or rolling it, and you're just going to roll it loosely about probably about 5 times. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you're going to take your clothespin just to hold your curl in place. Then we are going to go to the other end, and we're just going to do the same thing. You're just going to take the end, you're going to start rolling it about 5 rolls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, my little piece of deco mesh has seen better days, I think. But once you get it rolled 5 times, you're just going to pinch it or take it in the middle, and same thing with the ruffle. You're just going to push up through the middle, pulling the deco mesh toward you. Then you get to the end, take your clothespin off, and then there you go, and you will have a Cruffle, which is the curls plus the ruffle. So then you would take this to put it in your wreath. You're just going to do the same thing. Leave it to where because if you turn it over, then your curls and everything are going to face down, and you don't want that. You want your wreath to look fuller. So in order for it to look fuller, you'll want to turn your bow tie here up this way so that it curls up. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, we're going to lay this down in the center of our pipe cleaner, and I just put this in the same way that I do the ruffle, where the finished edges are running from top to bottom. So here is my finished edge, so it will go in the center of my wreath, and then the bottom finished edge will go toward the bottom of the wreath, or the outside edge of the wreath. So that is how you do the Cruffle method. This next method is called the Poof method. Now I'm using 10-inch Deco mesh, and if you have a mesh holder, which a lot of crafters do, a lot of wreath makers do, I don't, but so I'm just going to be throwing mine in the floor. But all you're going to do is take the end of your Deco mesh, and then you're going to just want to throw your roll in the floor, because there won't be any cuts in this till the end. So no cuts in your mesh until the end. You're going to be basically using the whole entire roll. So you're going to take the end of your Deco mesh, and all you're doing is gathering the end of it here. And then you can secure this either with a pipe cleaner or with a zip tie. It's up to you. I usually use a zip tie, but for right now I'm just going to use a pipe cleaner. So the end that you gathered, all you're going to do is kind of put it down in between one of these empty slots here. So I'm just putting it down in there. And then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, and I'm going to attach it to this weld right here. So I'm just going to, let me put this back in there. Push it up to the weld there. I'm going to run my pipe cleaner through this here. You're just going to tie it on, pretty tight. Unless you're using, a zip tie, then you can just, the way I'm doing it here is I'm attaching it to two of the welds right here, which you don't have to do that if you're using a zip tie. You can just attach it to one of them. But for this demonstration, I'm just going to be using the pipe cleaner and attaching it to two. So anyway, so this will be tucked out of the way because we're not going to be using that. So now that you have your Deco mesh started, you're just going to measure out about 10 inches. Now you want your poofs to be about 10 inches long. So you'll measure out 10 inches. Then you're going to pull your Deco mesh up, and you're going to add it to your first pipe cleaner. Now you can start on the inside of your wreath ring or on the outside, it's up to you. And there are several different ways that you can add your poofs. You can do it the way I'm showing you here, which is in a zigzag motion. So we are going to be starting with the inner pipe cleaner, and then we will pull our Deco mesh down to the outer pipe cleaner. So I've started with the center. So once you get your poof attached, you're just going to kind of fluff it up a little bit. Then you're going to take your Deco mesh again, and you're just going to pull it out to 10 inches again. And then you're going to go down to your next pipe cleaner. So you bring it down to your next pipe cleaner here. And then attach it. And then go ahead and just spread your poof out. So then you have two poofs here. Next, to do another one, you're just doing the same thing. You're just going to pull out 10 inches of your mesh. And then, let me grab another pipe cleaner here. Since we ended on the bottom one, we're going to go in a zigzag and go up to the center. So, let me put this pipe cleaner in the center here. So there is your other poof. So you will continue to do that all the way around, just in a zigzag motion, going from top to bottom, all the way around. And that's using 3 pipe cleaners per section. So I've seen also, and that's just going around one time. I have seen other people, and I have done it also, where I will do 2 rows of the poofs. I will do a row on the inside of poofs and then a row on the outside of poofs. But this is just one of the ways that I do it. So I just wanted to show you the way that I do this method. So this is the poof method. This method is called the bubble method. Now to do this bubble method, I'm going to be using 21-inch Deco mesh. And that's typically what I do use when I make the bubble wreaths, is the 21-inch Deco mesh. I haven't really found anything else that I can use the 21-inch Deco mesh for. If anybody has any ideas, leave them down in the comments for me. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do this. Now, you won't be cutting your Deco mesh. You're going to leave it on the roll just like we did with the bubble or with the poof method. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss my roll in the floor here. And then you're going to be, I'm just going to be using this 14-inch wreath frame that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I do not have any pipe cleaners in it as of right now. But you will see as we go along how you add those. So, you're going to take your Deco mesh, and all you're going to do is start gathering it up on the end here, just like you did with the poof. So you gather it on the end, and just like you did with the poof, you're going to attach it. I would recommend using a zip tie just because it's a tighter hold, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go ahead and use a pipe cleaner because I don't have any zip ties on hand. But you're just going to take the end, and same thing, you're just going to tuck it down in between one of those spaces, those rails there, and you're just going to secure that with a pipe cleaner or a zip tie. And this is just to hold that tight in there for you while you're doing your bubbles. So I'm just going to tuck that under there to get that out of the way. Okay, so now that you have it secured, you're just going to, just like you did with the poof, you're going to do the same thing pretty much. You're just going to take your Deco mesh, and you're going to measure about, I would say 8 to 10 inches long, just like the poof. So after you get your 10 inches measured, you're just going to take a pipe cleaner, and you're going to attach your pipe cleaner to the 2 center rails right here. You're going to go up underneath the 2 center rails, lay your Deco mesh in between your pipe cleaner there, and then you're just going to twist that on there pretty good. Then go ahead, and as soon as you get that secured with your pipe cleaner, you're just going to take your little bubble here. You're going to kind of poof it out just like you did with the poof. Now that you have it all poofed out, you're just going to push it up. So your bubble should be about 4 inches tall. So next we're going to move on. You're going to do the same thing for the next bubble. So you're just going to pull your mesh out to about 10 inches long. Grab a pipe cleaner, and using the 2 center rails, that's where you're going to attach your bubble. So once you get that attached, you're just going to push it up. So you will get about 5 to 6 poofs or bubbles per section, depending on how tight you push your bubbles together. But I tend to get 5 to 6, and it also depends on how thick your mesh is. This mesh is pretty thick, so anyway, you're going to push that second bubble up, and then you're going to move on and do the same thing. Measure out 10 inches. Grab the pipe cleaner, go up under, let me get this out of the way. Go up under those 2 rails there with your pipe cleaner or your zip tie, however you want to do it. And then you're just going to add your mesh. You go ahead and fluff your bubble out. And then you're just going to push your bubble up to the next one. And like I said, you can probably get about 5 or 6. So far I've gotten 3 per section right now, and I know I can probably add at least 2 more. So I'll go ahead and do another one. Measure it out to 10 inches. Add your pipe cleaner or zip tie, however you want to do it. Fluff out your little bubble. And then you just push the bubble up. So it will look like that. This will make a really full wreath. So at this point you can cut your pipe cleaners off if you want, if you're using pipe cleaners. Or leave them on there and add little foam balls or whatever you wanted to do. If you want to add an embellishment or something. But otherwise, you can just leave it like that and it will look really, really pretty. So that is the bubble method. So I can probably get, I've got 4 bubbles in there. I could probably get at least 1 more. So I'd say about 5 per section. If you're using the 21-inch Deco mesh and it's as thick as this one is. So there is the bubble method. Okay guys, so that is how you do 5 different methods using Deco mesh. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys learned something from it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer them. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. I wanted to thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye!